Those of you who know me know that I like to watch bad movies. I like going into them knowing that they're going to be a mess and making fun of them with my friends and enjoying a bit of light watching. I've gotten through some heinous movies in my day. The one that comes to mind all the time is Scoob, a movie so bad that I remember the physical pain I was in when I finished watching it. So now whenever I watch a bad movie and I don't feel like I need an emergency lobotomy after seeing it to save my life, I can safely say that, well, it's better than Scoob. Despite all that, there is one movie I refuse to see. One movie that I trust to be so bad that it will ruin something I hold very dear to my heart. But TJ, haven't you already seen Rise of Skywalker? How could you watch that and soil your childhood favorite movie franchise, but not want to watch whatever this is that you're talking about? First of all, reset the clock. I'm talking about Star Wars again. Second of all, the franchise was already soiled by the time The Last Jedi came out, so it was easy to go and see The Rise of Skywalker because I wanted to see how many flights of stairs it would fall down before we reached the end. I was just as happy to watch Rise of Skywalker as I was to watch Jurassic World 3. Because I had already been set up for failure. It wasn't the first bad movie that they made. But the movie I'm talking about today isn't like those. It didn't have any sequels until this movie I don't want to see. And I feel like that changes some things, you know? When there are already 3 Star Wars movies, you have different opinions, and they add 3 more, and you have very different opinions, and then they add 3 more, and you go, why not? Why not? But with this movie, this delayed sequel to a Disney masterpiece, a masterpiece that was perfect as is and didn't need any more, it gets me fired up! Alright, I beat around the bush long enough. I'm talking about Disenchanted. No, I'm not talking about Disenchantment, the Netflix series, which is pretty good. I haven't watched that much of it, but I like it. No, I'm talking to the Disney Plus sequel to the Disney masterpiece, Enchanted. Listen. I'm about to go on a rant about a movie I haven't even seen. Is that fair? No. Is it my video? Yes. Sometimes, when a movie is good, you should just leave it be. Especially when it's wrapped up nice and tight and everybody's living their happily ever after, especially in a movie like Enchanted, you should just leave it alone. When the bad guy of the movie says,
"There are no happily ever afters,"
you become the bad guy when you write a sequel that ruins the happily ever after. The only way that they could have made an Enchanted sequel that was anything is if they hinged on the idea of IRL people traveling to the fantasy land of Andalasia, a la Idina Menzel at the end of Enchanted. Maybe something's going on with Idina Menzel in Fantasyland and Prince Edward, and they call on Giselle and Patrick Dempsey to come help. So they travel into the fantasy world, and Patrick Dempsey gets a chance to go, oh my gosh, this place is really nice. Giselle, are you sure that you want to live in New York City when we could be living here? And Giselle, who has grown, will say, of course I want to live in New York City with you. I don't need a potion that will turn a donkey into a horse to love you. It really would have been the obvious choice. I mean, I don't know why they didn't go with it. Who are these writers? What have they done before? Maybe this movie is Shrek 2. Maybe Disenchanted is the Shrek 2 that we made along the way. Isn't it cool how now that Idina Menzel is Elsa, it's now a retroactive Easter egg that she's in Enchanted? So, as I said, I haven't seen Disenchanted, but I do know a few things about it. And honestly, from what I understand, the core might not be that far off from Shrek 2, but it kind of seems like they skipped over Shrek 2 and went to Shrek 4, and Shrek 4 is nice, but like, wouldn't you rather have Shrek 2? Here's what I understand Disenchanted to be based off of the trailer and like a promo synopsis that I read. Giselle and Robert move to the suburbs to get out of New York. But oh no, the suburbs kinda suck. And oh no, the house kinda sucks. And oh no, life kinda sucks. You know, how life is. So Giselle gets a wishing well, or a genie or something, and she starts wishing for things to be just as perfect as they are in Fantasyland. But oh no, things start being just like in Fantasyland. And she's the stepmother, which means, oh no, she's gotta be the evil stepmother. And I think Maya Rudolph is there, and I think she's evil. You know how Maya Rudolph is always there? The Good Place, the Lego Movie 2, the M&M's drama. Remember the M&M's drama? That's when I wrote the script. Anyways, the power of loving things as they are probably breaks the curse or something, but I don't care, because the Giselle that I know and love would have never gotten into this predicament at all. This problem is a real Act 1 of Enchanted where Giselle just got pushed down into a wishing well and pushed into the real world problem. The Giselle at the end of Enchanted loves the ever-changing world around her and faces each new day as a challenge to be conquered, which she does. First and foremost, by creating a new dress out of the first thing that she sees in the morning. Giselle gets so excited when she realizes that she's feeling anger for the first time. I don't think that Giselle, beacon of positivity, would find a fixer-upper in New Jersey to be the reason to turn to dark magics. There better be at least a funny line in there where she's like, oh, well, wishing wells don't always go badly. About 1 in every 10 times it works out all right. And like the voice of Aladdin sells her the wishing well. Oh my god. What if the cameos are from the live action versions now? What if the live action Aladdin sells Giselle the wishing well? That would turn me into a skeleton. And the only way a cameo like that would work is if the live action actor was performing a voice in Andalasia, where they're cartoons. But I doubt they did that. And if they did, good on them. Here's the long and short of it. Enchanted was a perfect story that came to a close. And ever since this movie's announcement, I never felt like it needed to exist. And now that this movie does exist, I am so convinced that it's going to be a steaming pile of trash that if I ever see it, it'll taint how I feel about the masterpiece Enchanted. And I cannot risk that. The less I know about this movie, the less real it is. And the less real it is, the safer I am from catastrophe. If you have or have not seen it, please do not tell me about this movie in any way that can make it more real to me. And if you do, I will I'm not listening. I am happy letting the concept of this movie fade away into the background of Disney Plus, where it can't hurt me anymore. Until they inevitably make a third one and try to hurt me again. This movie is just my breaking point in the sequel epidemic that we find ourselves in for the past 20 years. I reached that breaking point with Marvel too after seeing Thor: Love and Thunder. I don't need any more Marvel movies after that. I think we're done. I went to go see Indy 5 because I thought it would be a laugh. It was bad. And it wasn't even that much fun to watch. If you haven't seen Indy 5 yet, do yourself the favor of taking the Disenchanted route and just pretend it never happened. You're better off that way. Is this what aging feels like, or are things actually getting worse? Let's see, things that are coming out in the future that I will watch. Spider-Verse 3, obviously. I'll watch Deadpool 3. I will watch Kung Fu Panda 4. Does that say Good Burger 2? Does that say Good Burger 2? What? Next month? Who asked for this? Does anybody want that? Should I call Krista? She is the oldest person I know. Did you ever see Good Burger?
A long time ago.
Did you have any strong opinions of it?
I don't really remember most of it. Why?
How would you feel if they were making a Good Burger 2 and it was coming out next month?
What?
Can you believe that? That's what I said. The fans are dying to know what happened to the cast of Good Burger 26 years later. Bye.
Bye.
See, no one cares. What if live action Aladdin sells Giselle the carousel? Who am I? I'm so out of practice.